Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of The Falconer by Elizabeth May. This is the first book in a YA fantasy trilogy, and it follows our main character of Aliana, and she lives in a historical Scotland, but it's a historical steampunky alternate history Scotland. And she hunts the Fae. In this world, the majority of the Fae are more monstrous and scary and creepy and much more aggressive than sometimes in other settings, but she's been hunting them for the last year and been training. But more and more deadly Fae are appearing, and she comes to realize some things about herself and who she is and what she's supposed to do, and everything kind of goes from there. First off, we talk about the world building. Like I said, this is a steampunk-inspired setting, so if you don't know what steampunk is, please Google it, because I'll do a much better job than I will talking about it. But I do love steampunk as a genre, so seeing that was really fun. If you're not into steampunk, I don't think this is too much, because this had mostly steampunk elements that had to do with her weapons and transportation. So it still felt more like historical feeling. It wasn't too machinery, gimmicky, sciencey, anything like that, but her weapons and the transportation in particular were the big steampunk elements. So it still felt grounded in reality. Also, because this takes place in Scotland, there's more Scottish folklore-inspired Fae. So you have the traditional Fae that you know, but then there's also some more Scottish type Fae and Scottish words used for the Fae, and like different like Scottish fairy tales, and that was really cool. So it was a different element to the Fae that we're used to, and more of this like monstrous type Fae, more like vampiric at times, more like zombie-like at times, like more of these like Scottish folklores made into the same category as Fae. But they still have those beats of the Fae that you're used to, so like the original kind of Fae that are like, they can't lie, so that's a thing, which is like a very popular Fae trope. And then you have elements like the Wild Hunt, which is my jam, so that was exciting to have because I love the Wild Hunt like whenever it's used. And then you have like the Seelie versus the Unseelie as well. So things that we're used to seeing in Fae stories still popped up, but it had a different kind of flavor and twist to it with like the Scottish background. Next, let me talk about our characters. I loved Aliana as a main character. This feels a lot like Buffy with the Fae instead of vampires and hellmouths. So you know that's going to speak to me on a lot of levels. So Aliana finds out that she is a Falconer, and that gets revealed a little more, so I'm not going to talk about what exactly that is, but it means she does have this ability to almost like feed off of her kills of the Fae. So it felt very much like if you've played Skyrim, when you are the Dragonborn and you kill a dragon and you absorb their soul, that's what it felt like. There's a lot of beats of this like hit on that I just really like, and a lot of like tropes and stuff, and I just really liked that. And she just had this like Scottish Buffy feel to her. Like she's going out and hunting these things that no one knows about. She has to sneak around out of parties, and you know, she's like a society lady, but she has to like go and do this and fight this other like paranormal battle in the background. So I really liked that like Buffy-esque feel to it. I will say there's a hint of what you think is going to be a love triangle, but I want to encourage you, if you get to that and you're like, I hate love triangles, I'm going to DNF it, that it's not really a love triangle or anything. So don't get worried. There's also a really good best friend relationship that she had with one of her female best friends, and I really like that because I feel like in some of these stories you just have only like the romantic elements and all of this stuff, and she's kind of like this solo person, but I liked, again, reminiscent of Buffy, she like has her people, you know, like she has some people around her, so that was really fun. Her friends were a really fun element, and her female best friend in particular is someone who believes her, and it's not this like mean girl fighting, I don't believe you, you're lying to me. Like when stuff happens, this girl is there for her, and I appreciate that. As far as the romance element, I really like that as well, but it's not romance heavy by any means. It's definitely much more focused on like the fights and the action and what's going on, and there's like this little kind of back burner thing, slow burn thing going on with the romance element, so I liked that a lot. They are more of a team and kind of work together and stuff, and they are not focused really on their feelings or developing feelings for one another. They're really focused on like, stuff is going to crap and we need to worry about that more than any of this messy love stuff. But this is a couple that does kind of keep like secrets from one another, and there's like a little bit of that. So if you don't like that in your like relationships, then be aware and maybe you won't like this as much. But I thought it was like for fairly good reasons, and I'm not something that really bothers me in my like romances, especially as like a side plot, so I was fine with that. Next, let me talk about the plot. I found this to be really fast-paced and fun, and the writing isn't overly flowery, so I didn't feel like it got really bogged down. It's very actiony, and you just want to know what's going on, but you also have that flavor of like I said, she's like a society lady. She is almost like a debutante, I guess, in a way. So like she has to do some of that stuff and like do the dresses and the parties and stuff. So that I thought was fun and kept it like rooted in like the serious action fights, blah, and then like the like fun historical pieces. I will warn you that this is a cliffhanger ending. So it didn't really bother me. I'm able to be like okay with it, but some people might really be upset about the cliffhanger ending, so be warned. I haven't read a cliffhanger ending in a while, but the next 2 books are already out so you can read through them. Personally, I'm getting all of them in paperback, and the paperback of the last book isn't out yet, so I'm waiting a little bit. So if you are curious and you want me to read through the whole series really quickly, I want to as well, but that can't happen because the last book isn't out on paperback yet, and I can't read it and have it. I want to have it in my collection and all that. So I'm probably going to end up buying the last book and the second book in paperback as soon as the last book comes out, and then I'll be reading them like back to back because I want to be able to read them back to back because I hear the second book also ends on a cliffhanger. So I don't want to have to wait at all, but I really enjoyed this. As you can tell, I like basically binge read it. I couldn't put it down. I think I read this in almost just about a day, a little over a day, because I was homesick while I was reading it, so yay. But I ended up really liking this one, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So comment down below, let me know what you thought of the Falconer. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!